facets.com. Manuel Garcia-Rulfo. How are you, sir? Did I pronounce that correctly?
That was perfect, my brother.
All right,
Perfect.
man. Brother, when we last saw you, I should just say, man, season two, I guess eventful is one way of explaining it, but you guys left us with an amazing cliffhanger. Um, Talk about going into season three, man, off of the momentum and the craziness of season two.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels like because of that, how we end up on season two. We find this season is just it's so personal to him that the case that the stakes are a lot higher. Because again, it's so personal, and he was a dear friend of his, and he has to see this through. He has to find justice, and he has to find the truth. And even though he knows that it's very dangerous and he can put his family in danger and himself and friends, there's something about him that he's like, it's a trouble. It's a battle inside him because he knows that he could, be in danger and endanger his family. There's something about it that he won't let go, and he has to find the truth and justice. And I think why this season is, it just feels heavier, and it just feels like the stakes are a lot, higher again.
Now, Manuel, I remember the movie that the show is sort of based on, right? And I
Right.
love how over the first two seasons you have stepped into this role, more or less taking ownership of it. I remember a couple of days ago, there was a special about Latino representation in Hollywood, and I thought about you when I was watching that because I anticipated this conversation. Um, how does it feel, man? Not just from a representation standpoint, but the original point that I made about how you have taken ownership of this role to this degree, and how what you're doing sort of speaks to the next generation of people who are watching you and looking up to you, and and seeing the kind, not just kind of quality work you're doing, but how you're serving as an inspiration. How does that hit you, or do you not really not focus on that and you just kind of do the work?
I mean, you can imagine. I'm from Mexico, from Jalisco, and being in this show that is a very successful show, playing a lawyer, not a narco trafficant or whatever. These stereotypes that you know. So it's huge. For me, it's huge. You know, and I love it. I love it that people, when people come in the street or whatever, and they're like, and they're Latinos, and they're kind of like, oh, Manuel is so nice. It's just, I think it's all worth it. When people see that. Um, so yeah, it's huge. I really think that Hollywood is little by little opening the doors to that, and there's still a long way to go, but um, I think there's a conversation that is very important to have, and I'm just I'm very grateful, and yeah, it's for me it's huge, to be playing a lawyer. I would never imagine, what I mean, and that it works. People like it, so it's working. But yeah.
Yeah, man. And the reason I think about that, man, is because I realize how much of a struggle it is, man, with representation in the industry, whether you're African American, Asian
Yeah.
American, Latino, I mean, across the board. And we're seeing so many doors open up. And the
Yeah.
role that this role, and that's why I phrase the question in that way, because when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, I know Matthew McConaughey initially was in the film. But to me, you are Mickey Halloran to me, right? I've watched
Yeah.
you over the course of two seasons. I love what you've done with this role, man, and cannot wait for season three, man. And when I say wait, I'm talking about wait for the audience to see season
Right.
three
Right.
because. So let me ask you one quick question before we get out of here. Do you feel that there is a lot more story, a lot more that we can get into Mickey's life, man? I know it's the foodie, his love life, you trying to balance it out between your work and your personal. How much do you feel that there's still more, we can go deeper into Mickey's character?
Oh, we still can. I mean, especially like I said, in this season, you see that you see like this is more heavy. It just feels like there's a Mickey that is more inside, with all these ghosts that he has to prove something, whatever it is. And but especially how it ends, which we cannot say, but how it ends, it gives the opportunity for a next season that it's. I'm really hoping it works because as an actor to play that, to be on the other, you will see a Mickey Holler that is naked. So it's just, I think that was it would be a completely new thing. So that would be very interesting. There's also, I don't know, it's such a complex character. He's always, like you said, he's always juggling with stuff, and he's always have so many obstacles. If it's not his addiction, like you said, the romance, the cases, and I think that's why people are drawn to it, because he's always, following this guy that he's very vulnerable. He has all these faults, he's, like I said, his addiction, his that, but he's always fighting. He's always fighting for the justice, always fighting for the truth. And I think people connect with that, to see this guy that has a lot of faults, that he's not a superhero, that, hey, he can do everything, but he has all these things. And in spite of that, he's always, obstacle to obstacle. And, so you can explore that in so many ways, in a character so complex like that.
Bro, hey, Manuel, it is a pleasure to sit down with you, man. I hope we have an opportunity to do this again. Season 3 of The Lincoln Lawyer, man, is coming on the 17th of October. Can't wait for people to see it. Much love and respect to you, my brother.
Man, same, and thank you for everything. Big hug.
You take care, man.